Hey everyone, we're Donna and Casey, and we've been together for a long time. We haven't been everywhere, but it is on our list.
So, we bought a 2019 ProMaster cargo van. I outfitted it to a camper van, and with our dog Frankie, we hit the road. Thanks for joining us on our adventure.
Hey everybody, today is September 20th, and we're still in Lassen Volcanic National Park. We're going to give you some fun facts, and then we're going to go for a hike.
This is Emerald Lake. It's just off the highway. It sits in a glacially formed bowl called a cirque, and it's surrounded by a white fir and John Muir's favorite tree, the mountain hemlock. And up on the side there, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the trails of the mule deer as they wind their way up the mountain. It's a beautiful spot. Now this interesting lake is called Lake Helen. It is 110 feet deep, 110 feet deep. It used to be called Sapphire Lake, but the name was changed for the first white woman to summit Lassen Peak right there. So this is the Lassen Peak Volcanic Trailhead. It is a 5-mile round trip trail with over 2,000 feet in elevation change, and that is Lassen Peak. It's the volcano that the park is named after. Started erupting in 1915 and was made a national monument. And then in 1916, Theodore Roosevelt made this a national park. And the peak is 10,547 feet high. It's one of the tallest plug volcanoes in the world. I would love to hike it, but I don't have 2 hiking poles. I need 2 hiking poles to make it down. My knees wouldn't take it otherwise. And that big rock jutting out there has an eye on the side. That's the Eye of Vulcan, they call it. Right there in the middle, the Eye of Vulcan. This amazing road we're traveling was started in 1925. Now remember, the park was made a national park in 1916. So prior to the road, the only way to get up here and see these beautiful scenic views was by horseback or on foot. And Henry Ford's 10 millionth automobile was completed in 1925, I think. And the automobile traffic on this road jumped from 142 in 1924 to 2,200 in 1925. I don't know what lake that is out there. Hopefully we'll get a vista that tells us what lake that is in the distance. Kings Creek Meadow. The creek runs right through there. Hot Rock is another special site in Lassen. This 300-ton rock was sent flying from the volcano on May 19th, 1950, when Lassen Peak erupted. It ended up 5 miles from the peak, and 40 hours after the eruption, the rock was found still sizzling in the melted snow. That's pretty crazy that 350 years ago, a rock slide off the side of this mountain traveled 4 miles, carrying massive amounts of rock. And then 2 more slides followed shortly after, but the first one was the biggest. Pretty amazing. Here's the road we came driving in on, and the rock slide continues, and it went up the side of that mountain over there. What did it say? It was 130 feet deep at some points, the rock. Okay, today we're doing the Kings Creek Trail. How far is it, Donna?
I don't know.
It's 1.7 miles down and 1.7 miles back. So here we go. Hey, yesterday we did the driving tour through Lassen Volcanic National Park. And it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's really beautiful here and really different than what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was expecting just a lot of volcanic rock and not a lot of variety, but these mountains are gorgeous, and the information about the volcanoes here is also fascinating.
And there's lots of forest.
Lots of forest. Today we're doing some hikes where this hike we're doing now is supposed to go down to a waterfall, I think, right?
Kings Trail.
Kings Trail. It's Kings Trail. So let's go find a waterfall. It's an interesting burned out tree there. There was a sign when we first entered the trail that said, "Burnt area, enter at your own risk." We were talking to a ranger this morning, and she said unfortunately a lot of the fires they have here are arson. That many are lightning strikes, but a lot of them are arson, so that's unfortunate. What is that? Oh, it's a fire fairy. She puts out fires, she doesn't start them. We just came off of a camp host position in Tahoe National Forest, and we were the fire fairies there, weren't we, Don?
Oh yeah. Crazy people wanting to have fires during a burn ban. Everything was so dry. We had, I think the second or third day we were there, we had a little drizzle of rain. And one other day we had snow. And then one of the very last days nights we had some rain, but nothing that really amounted to anything.
Yeah, we were there for 6 weeks and we had rain one day, and then the night before we left it rained. So if you count that, 2 days of rain in 6 weeks. And it snowed once in August. First time we've ever seen snow in August. Well, first time I've ever seen snow in August.
But yeah, I mean, it was so dry. The ground was so dry, it was like just dust, like 4 inches of dust is what it felt like when you'd walk across the ground. And pine needles everywhere, dried pine needles. And people were like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't have a fire.
Yeah, as they drive into the campground, they would pass no less than 5 signs saying that campfires were banned. And there was even a flashing highway sign on the road leading into the campground that said no campfires. And people were still trying to start campfires. So Donna the fire fairy would go around with her big jug of water and shovel and put out their fires. Because we don't want this happening. Not where we're camp hosts.
Yeah, that was another thing about that place, though, was that there was no water. So if someone's campfire got out of control, we didn't have any water to put it out with. We had like 5-gallon jugs or 3-gallon jugs.
The Rangers brought them into us. They brought us about 4 5-gallon jugs of water, mainly for putting out fires. We had our own water in the van, of course. Whenever we left town, we'd go by a water source and fill our 30-gallon water tank. Now see, the section we're in now doesn't look of the forest doesn't look nearly as bad. It's interesting, the areas of burn and how the forest recovers. Yeah, here's another strange looking tree that's, I don't know if it's alive or not, but look how it's burnt out there in the bottom. No, it's not alive. It's just green moss on the tree. I think I hear the creek or the waterfall ahead. We're getting close.
Isn't there supposed to be a waterfall on this hike?
Oh, that's next video.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life.